Guatemala Prospera began in 2003 as a dream of a group of friends who longed to see a prosperous country and to inspire and connect leaders through service, one Guatemalan at a time.
In
2003, a group of friends got together with the purpose of building a prosperous Guatemala. From there, we began providing workshops and seminars through leadership tools with values and principles, which have allowed us to see, since 2003, a prosperous country.
To prosper is to move forward, advance together, and serve others. That is why we have three main pillars: leadership, influence, and service. Leadership.
Hay líderes tóxicos.
There are toxic leaders, and Guatemala won't change that way. Healthy leadership must arise, and that is why, thanks to efforts as spectacular as roundtables that strengthen a person's inner being tremendously, we are seeing leaders emerge in their circle. As board of directors, our work is to get up every morning and ask ourselves if the purpose for the existence of Guatemala Prospera is being fulfilled, and it is precisely helping people to grow and have positive leadership in the country.
Workshops and seminars. From the moment of its creation, Guatemala Prospera invited leaders of great corporations such as Apple, GNC, Walmart, and others to give conferences sharing their experiences about creating a positive impact by implementing values in their organizations. Programs. In 2013, John Maxwell, a world expert in leadership, joins the vision of country transformation by choosing Guatemala among 159 countries to develop a transformational leadership program based on principles and values. In a survey, 12,000 Guatemalans chose 15 values that needed urgent improvement, and we added John Maxwell's 15 invaluable laws of growth to make 30 topics. That is how Transformation is in Me was born. Then in 2016, together with John Maxwell, we launched Intentional Living with 16 new topics. Also, at the request of the Ministry of Education of Guatemala, John Maxwell writes a youth curriculum. That is how we launched I Choose for 4th grade students, I Do for 5th grade students, and I Lead for 6th grade students. These programs are available for all the students in the country free of charge. They receive a textbook endorsed by the Ministry of Education of Guatemala and use it in the citizenship class in every school in the country. We started with the phases of implementation in 2019. Our association is non-profit, therefore the programs reach people for free. And the certificate is endorsed by Guatemala Prospera, the John C. Maxwell Leadership Foundation, and the Universidad San Pablo de Guatemala. Guatemala Prospera has other strategic allies, including Wordindad, an organization that connects people and entities around the world, with whom we created a curriculum based on the needs of professional growth expressed by teachers in Guatemala. That's how the Teachers Growth Program is created. It is comprised of 4 phases executed in 4 years, with the mission to equip teachers to provide an increasingly effective and transformational education through a network in the educational community. The participant teachers receive a printed book for each year that has 10 modules of content and also multimedia material to broaden their learning experience. Since its implementation in 2021, over 60,000 teachers have been trained in the country. From 2013 to this day, we have reached over 2 million people in our Leadership with Values programs. And during that time, we have innovated to strengthen leadership in values through virtual roundtables. Influence.
Guatemala Prospera es una organización.
Guatemala Prospera is an organization characterized by the ability to create cohesion among the various groups of Guatemala society. And even though they are from different sectors and move in different spaces, we have one thing in common, and it is that we all want to see a more prosperous Guatemala. We focus on our vision: united we prosper. That is why we gather different sectors of influence through meetings, events, seminars, leadership forums, and everything that promotes the unity of Guatemalans for the common good. We inspire and connect leaders through service, one Guatemalan at a time. National Prayer Breakfast. In 2012, a group of U.S. senators and congressional representatives invited Guatemala Prospera's Board of Directors to the National Prayer Breakfast in Washington, D.C. This emblematic annual event, led by the President of the United States of America, members of his cabinet, and senators and representatives of Congress, is an institution in itself, because since 1953 it has uninterruptedly gathered leaders of influence of said nation. That is why for some years now, Guatemala Prospera decided to host the National Prayer Breakfast in Guatemala. The goal is to strengthen the bonds of unity in favor of the country, anchored on the principles taught by the greatest leader in history, Jesus.
Se aprovecha esa
We leverage that opportunity of unity of all of us who represent Guatemala to listen to a message related to principles and values. And all the attendees at the National Prayer Breakfast have something in common. We want to see a prosperous Guatemala. In 2019, for the first time in history, a Guatemalan was invited to be a speaker at the National Prayer Breakfast in Washington. That is how our founder, Manuel Espina, shared the main table with the President of the United States of America, senators, members of Congress, and world leaders in a select group that addressed the international audience with a motivational speech. Service.
Service is a value that has been fundamental to Guatemala Prospera since its creation. From the beginning, our message to all those whom we have come in contact with has been, "How can I serve you?" And that is why we have focused on such an essential value, to serve our beautiful nation.
Volunteering. Volunteers are our fundamental element. Thanks to their leadership, our arms of service have extended to the entire country. Social Responsibility Project, Community Transformation. In 2015, Guatemala Prospera started a project of community transformation and sustainable development in the El Rosario village in Chimaltenango. Through this program, we have implemented different projects that improve the life quality of its inhabitants. United we prosper. Guatemala Prospera.